Piano lessons. Touch magic and pass it on. I like to read the LA Times. Anything, from weather to ads for hair replacement. Not that that's a problem with me, but you never know. Sometimes you glean, Raul's word, most from the, page 54, shorter articles, two paragraphers about Bigfoot, or a dinosaur hatchery in what's now Argentina, or a man who collects flat tires. These satisfy some thirst for weirdness in me. It's a crack of dawn, la madrugada, the most beautiful time when everything begins again. Papi's mumbling a news clip to himself, then falls into reading out loud. It's about a load of people, some even kids, who've sneaked into the U.S. from Mexico on foot. So many, they're nearly smothered inside a flimsy and ancient trunk. The vehicle picked them up stateside, miraculously evading authorities, only to be estrellado, squashed, on Highway 101 by an out-of-control semi. Many dead, though the final count's not in. Sounds like the score of some game. Siempre lo mismo, los pobres desperately seeking for betterment, but often finding worse, Papi says. A tear slides through his voice. This is one of his themes. How the poor, but decent, come here to get in on the dream. How they're crushed like cucarachas in the path of the strong. Thinking about those people, suddenly my throat goes tight. Thinking about those people, I miss Mexico. As if by the power of suggestion, my eyes skip to the obituary page. I do that anyhow sometimes. Creepy, I guess, but there are all kinds of interesting people mentioned in there. Like this article today about Leona Scott, a black lady who grew up in the barrio and never moved away. The Times says she was a piano prodigy, jazz especially. She had talent to spare from the start. She could have been a celebrity, like Ellington and those, but she made a promise to her teacher to pass her talent on. So Leona Scott taught barrio kids piano from the time she was pretty little, those who wanted to learn, and plenty who didn't. Most clients couldn't pay her money. Sometimes they gave her enchiladas or sacks of rice, page 56. Even pigs. Once, the obit says, a frightened soul got stuck behind Leona Scott's piano and squealed like a crazed singer. She laughed herself weak and named the soul Aretha and kept it for a pet. From payment in food, she developed a strong sweet tooth for Mexican dulces, candy so sugary they can riddle your teeth with holes on sight. She kept bowls of dulces on her piano in case anyone suffered a low spell, either a pupil or herself. Soon, everyone called her Mama Dulce. Love each other, help each other. That's her quote. Mama Dulce wrote lots of songs and a jazz opera, but her main thing was teaching anyone who came along, even those with criminal tendencies. The magic of music could help most ailments of body or spirit, she claimed, so she passed the music on. When Mama Luce got sick and took to bed, word quietly rippled through the barrio. People began arriving at her door. Pupils and ex-pupils and their parents and grandparents, and musicians she'd played with at some time in her life, and musicians she hadn't played with but who just admired her, and people who didn't even know her at all except what the neighbors had told them. The line of visitors wound around the block like an endless keyboard. Many carried small but struggling livestock. Others, smarter maybe, brought plants and CDs. And, claro, Mexican dulces. Then the piano playing began. All day her pupils came and played stuff from chopsticks right on up. One famous jazz pianist played a piece he wrote for her called Payment in Kind. If she didn't know before, she knew then. Her magic passed on. Mama Dulce had some kind of blood disease. She died at the age of 33. My browse through the papers suddenly interrupted. Rosa, Arturo, Luis, ven. Papi's all in a fluster. Un pánico total. We come on the run. When Papi shows this type of emotion, the problem's gotta be big. ¿Qué pasa? All three of us ask. I need your immediate help. Drop everything. Niños, he says with urgency. Es el día de la amistad. Valentine's Day. Mommy's just left for shopping with Morales, her comadre. Now Papi's chance to launch this top secret project. It's no secret from us, definitely not. Like a fevered bank robber, he's been planning this for months, going over the steps again and again when Mommy's not around. The pretexto to get her away for a while. The materials involved, the timing, the accomplices, us. Our barrio is no place of palaces, just simple homes from the 20s or so. Some homes in the neighborhood have columns of stone or small stone walls around them, or lines of stone down the sides like big bulgy buttons on mariachi pants. You can tell Mommy loves these houses. She sorts of size each time she passes one. Papi's plan is this, to paint rows of stones on the front of our house. It would be carísimo to put real ones. So the Familia Rodriguez becomes a painting machine. Louis and I grab piles of old newspapers squirreled away for this day. Rosa gets the brushes. She loves secret things, so, among the rushes of whispers and giggles, she hid them in her dollhouse one time when Papi smuggled them home. After a changing frenzy, we're wearing baggy old clothes, like a scarecrow family. Puffing with urgency, Papi lugs out cans of paint so everyone can consult it. Next to the doorbell, he tacks up his design for the mural of the stones. We open the paints, seagull colors, white and grays, like the birds that sometimes patrol the skies. Page 60. A good smell floats up, like newness, like beginnings. We pick up our brushes. ¿Listos? Papi asks. Listos. We're ready, and we dive in. As scheduled with Flor, we've got 2 hours to complete this masterwork. Even Rosa's more in control than Papi, and she's pretty worked up. All frantic, he paces back and forth, taking the role of maestro de obras, checking constantly for errors and drips that could mar Mommy's porch. The scene's like an old-time painter's workshop, a frenzy of activity and noise, and stones bloom into being. Papi flutters and mutters like a dove on drugs. Con cuidado, with care. We want no fracasos. Bigger and bigger, I think. Whiter, I think. Bolder, I think. Solo una idea, just a thought. Calma, papi, calma, I say, trying to tranquilize him. You better paint, kids, Louis. Busy hands, sane minds. I nearly see this idea splash in Papi's mind like a jumping fish. With sudden emotional fervor, he grabs a brush. In a psycho swing, he goes the other way from manager to painter. Todos callados, no one speaks, he commands. I must have silencio to create. Can't you see? I am Siqueiros, I am Orozco, I am Rivera, I am El Soprimo. You are el loquito, we shout. Claro. Papi rocks with laughter and points his paint-bloated brush at us, carefully. Above our commotion, Louis's radio roars top volume. Then there's a pause. The announcer says, La próxima canción es Payment in Kind, de Bixby Waters. Es un homenaje a la mamá dulce, reina de la música, quien falleció el día de hoy. The next song's a homage to Mama Dulce, page 62. I stop painting. I listen to the song and look up into the wide blue sky. ¿Quién tiene hambre? Abue asks at the height of things. Whether there's hunger here or not, she carries out food to sustain painters. That's how we spend the next 2 hours, being crazed Mexican muralists. When Mommy comes home and sees all those deformed boulders adorning her house and all those splattered up painters laughing and now dabbing each other, she nearly faints from happiness. She hugs Papi. She looks at the stones. She hugs us all. She looks at the stones again. She notices that one of these carries a small red heart saying, Te quiero. She hugs Papi and she cries. I lie in bed looking out at the night's piñata spill of stars. The paint smells strong in our house. I'm trying to sleep in spite of it, thinking about those stones we painted for Mommy, and about love. Not the kind that causes you pain and rebuffment, as Raul calls being thrown away by girls, but love like my parents' kind. Nothing flashy, just plain and strong, like stones. I think about people sardined in trucks, trying to help their families and far from home. I think about Mama Dulce, who's dead so young. She could have made headlines. So what? Quietly, she did something else. What can I do? I wish I knew. In LA, there's bad. Druggies, gangs, thieves, lifting stuff from houses like army ants. Then there's this. Love each other. Help each other. Yeah, I think. And then they sleep.